Welcome to Post Fame Plus, bonus content from Almost Famous Enough. It's like Post Fame, but also Plus, with Alexi and Glen.
Hello and welcome to Post Fame Plus. Post Fame Plus is our season 1 bonus episode series between Alexi and myself, Glen Erickson, your host of Almost Famous Enough. And this is Alexi. Say hi, Alexi. Say hi.
Hi.
I'm just kidding. That was so forced. Post Fame Plus is something we wanted to do as sort of a carryover of our tag bits to every episode in season 1 of Almost Famous Enough, where we got together and we talked about the episode, but then we also liked to talk about, well, lots of things, but particularly what music was relevant in our life right now, or things that we were referencing or discovering or pulling out of the past, all those things, right? So I think that it would be a lot of fun for us to have a little series with a specific premise and theme, right? So
Yeah.
Premise and theme is we are going to do a 4-part series where one person shows up with an album that they think is important to listen to start to finish as an album, and the backstory behind why they think that and feel that way. And then the other person is going to share a single, a song that is impressing upon them either now or whatever. There's no rule to it. It's just you're bringing a song, I'm bringing an album. So song versus album, and that's well, it's not a battle, but song and album. And we're coming first episode here. Alexi, you are doing song. You're doing song. I'm doing album. So we're gonna have a little bit of an exchange. Again, this is what we kind of wanted to do while we prep for season 2 and all the things that are coming for that, but we kind of missed our pod time together, and I think this is going to be fun, and we want to keep sharing music to people. So without further ado, Post Fame Plus, Alexi, why don't you start us off with a song that you're here to share?
Okay, I'll start by saying I was excited to do song first because I think this is a band that you don't know and haven't heard of.
What?
And I always think it's quite exciting when I have a band or a song up my sleeve that you won't know.
You know how bold that is, and you know how bold it is because you even got a little red in the face as you were saying it.
I know.
Which is very sweet and also a big swing. So I love it. So I'm looking forward to this.
But if you know them, you can't be a liar. You got to tell me. But okay, I'll start by saying it's by the band called The Backfires.
You're winner right there. I do not know.
Okay. So they, I don't even have my phone, so I can't see, but they don't have a lot of music out at all. But they have their most recent album that came out, full of really good songs. But there's one on there that the first time listening is just one of those songs where it finishes and you're like, oh, I think I need to play that one more time before I move past it. And so the song I chose is called Dress for a Funeral by The Backfires.
I'm looking it up right now. I can see it.
Yeah, you're looking?
Talked about, did you already talk about this band to me, Lexi?
I didn't.
Oh, the album cover art for this looks a little familiar, but I can't place it. Okay, continue. Dressed for a Funeral, The Backfires.
The chance I might have popped it in the car. But yeah, Dressed for a Funeral by The Backfires. When I discovered it, it was one of my many, I need this on repeat, or it goes in the file in my brain of the good mood song, in the way that it's if I'm in a really good mood, I'm playing this song, or if I need to get in a really good mood, I'm playing this song. It's very punchy indie rock.
Oh, well, you got me on that.
It is.
Okay, hold on. You describe it as punchy indie rock, and how long have you been holding this out from me?
Too long. Because he told me we were going to do this series.
Oh, okay. You're right. Okay, that's
ammo. Fair. Yeah, no, it's so good. The album's really, really good for this song. Yeah, and so I was trying to describe it to a friend, and the way I described it, as soon as it came out of my mouth, we were like dying laughing, and we wrote it in my notes. And what I had said when I was trying to describe it was, I said, imagine the Strokes meets the Arctic Monkeys, but they have a kid and it's a 2000s garage rock band. And that was me trying to describe this album. And I don't know if it does it justice, but it's really good. It has like, and this is why I saved it for you too. It has like really sharp guitar riffs in there, that are just like delightful
I want
to
to
listen
know
to.
what you mean by sharp.
Like, sharp, like their whole sound. It's like they have like good production, but their guitar riff also just kind of like breaks through, and they're like crisp, and they have a little edge to them.
Okay.
You know what I
So
mean?
do you mean, well, I'm trying to find out what you mean. So do you mean sharp like versus fuzzy, like guitar naturally when it can be very crunchy in indie rock, right? Or
Yeah,
it can be the fuzz tone
yeah.
sort of
It's not
thing,
the
or
fuzz
it can
tone.
be like tight. Like I almost would use terms sometimes as tight. Like there's not a lot of extra anything. Like Vampire Weekend is sharp to me, like in the way that they
Yeah,
present.
yes. Then I'd stick with sharp.
Okay.
You'll know when you listen. But yeah, like it's that, like I was like saying, like it's like tight in production, but it's like that raw edge that I like as well. Um, and then I was, oh, it's a 2 minute 13 second song,
A little
which
punk. It's a little punk rock of them.
it's a little punk. It's
Well,
a little hurting my heart.
I'm looking and it's like 2:14 and then the other songs are 2:59, 3 minutes. So like
Yeah,
they don't waste a lot of time.
they don't waste a lot of time, but that's their, I think, shortest one on there,
Yeah.
which is, it's hard. I literally, I just want it to be like 8 minutes long, um, always. And I'll finish off with like my favorite lyric from it, which kind of encaptures their whole thing. They're it's a really sharp one too, but it's like waking up drunk is tomorrow's conditional. And the whole song is just like, I don't know, it's a little like punky. And I really like it. It's
Okay,
really good.
I love that. I can't remember already because I might have been already going down a different place in my mind, but did you say how you found the song?
I don't
Was it
know how I found it. I
recommended? Was it a rabbit
No,
hole?
it was not. It was a rabbit hole for sure. Yeah, it was definitely a rabbit hole. It was like when I was finishing finals, and I was like thinking about the fact that I was coming into summer, and I always come into summer have like a playlist of kind of the music that I have been finding and I'm getting into for the summer, and it ends up flourishing into this beautiful like summer of that year playlist. And I didn't have one, and so I was adding some songs I had found recently and like we're enjoying to a playlist. And I think I was going into the artist profiles on Spotify, scrolling all the way down, and going to the like, if you like this artist, you'll like da 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 da. Da.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple smaller artists on there, and then I was scrolling down and going through that, and these were one of them. They're still pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they were kind of in that grouping. And I judged the book by its cover, and I looked at it, and I was like, and then I gave it a chance, and I'm very, very grateful for that. It's so good.
I love that. You know what it makes me think of is like literally since we're a generational podcast conversation here is when I was 19, that would have been my summer mixtape. On a literal cassette
Yes.
was what I would have had, and I would have had to record from like one cassette to another on a machine that I was very fortunate my parents had, and
Yeah.
that had the two cassette things right built in. Anyhow, and I would have only found out all of these new bands by probably going down to the record store, the more indie record store, not the mainstream one, and just flipping
Yeah.
and looking for like album cover art that looked cool, and
Yeah.
I would hope that the music matched it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a whole different world now. Okay, I love that. So, Dressed for a Funeral, the Backfires,
Yeah.
first single share Lexi. So I'm glad that you were sitting on one, because it makes me feel more justified that I'm sitting on one and have chosen not to talk to you about for my single on the next episode. So
That's okay. Okay.
I love it. I
I won't
absolutely
I
love
won't
it.
have my feelings hurt.
Okay. Album. So
Yeah.
obviously, I was telling you in the car the other day, this one's hard because there's so many places and ways I could go.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so I had to sort of try to rein it in. And then I just thought, if we're going to do this share series thematically, I should really start with, to me, what is one of the most important cover to cover albums that I've
Yeah.
had in recent memory, that probably also has a story worthy to go with it. So, to
Yeah.
absolutely no surprise to anyone, I think the album everyone should listen to is The War on Drugs, Lost in the
Oh,
Dream. But here's the catch is there's like three, there's like a bunch of War on Drugs album I could choose. So how do I choose one? Well, this one's
yeah.
undeniable to me. Lost in the Dream was released in 2014, so quite a while ago. American rock band that really, when it comes down to it, is Adam Grandisio, the guitar player and lead singer. Like, he is the band, even though he's had the same guys forever. But
Yeah.
he's like a modern kind of guitar hero guy, very distinct. So obviously that caught me, and I had discovered them kind of before this record, but only a
Hmm.
little before this record came out. And what I didn't even realize at the time, there's like this indie super cred guy called Kurt Vile. He's been around forever. I
Hmm.
didn't know at first that they actually formed this band together way before, in like 2008.
Oh.
And then Kurt Vile went solo, and then Adam did his thing. Anyhow, so the band had caught my attention, but it's the backstory for me on this album, and then I'll talk about the album a little bit itself, about why the songs are. But 2015, September 2015, I don't recall if it was a person or a friend who tipped me off. Like, I can't even
Hmm.
remember how I discovered it. But when I did, it didn't hit me like a brick right away, but it started kind of, I started going back to it and listening to it more. But I was kind of, like, think about this, is like 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
I'm like in my 40s. It's really hard to impress me with anything at that point, it felt like.
Hmm.
So I don't think anything really hit me like a brick, but this one kind of got through the barriers. So the funny part of the story is I just kind of needed a horrific accident to kind of like really rip the barriers down and let the record in.
Yeah.
So I know you've heard all kinds of parts of this story and you were around for it, but 2015, I had been away at boot camp for Project Wild. I come
Yeah.
back excited to get back into my regular hockey program with my regular shinny hockey club guys that play weekly. I step out on the ice for my very first shift back on and race down the ice. First shift, loose puck battle, full speed at it. And I come at it, and apparently I scored an absolute glorious goal, winning the loose puck battle and taking a wild swipe at the puck. And I remember absolutely none of it because I lost an edge in the process and
Yeah.
slammed feet first into the boards at top speed, and subsequently breaking my leg in two places. So fib,
Yep.
tib, break, and that was terrible. So I end up waiting 5 days to get admitted to the hospital. And then when I was in the hospital, 48 more hours before they could schedule me in for surgery. So
Yeah.
that was a long time to be trying to tough it through, the codeine pills or the T3s or whatever they were trying to give
Yeah.
me to make it manage. But the worst part was actually the 48 hours of waiting in that hospital room, because I had been placed with this like lady that shared the room with me. You're already laughing. Good. I'm glad you remember the story. So 48 hours where it's hard enough for me to sleep or rest because of the pain and trying to manage the pain. And it had been already 5 days. And I was
Yeah.
already going out of my mind when I realized that the lady beside me, she suffers from flesh-eating disease. Most of one of her legs was gone, among other disorders. And she had
Mm-hmm.
people coming in and out all the time because she had so many things she needed. She was incredibly obese, so she could do nothing, it seemed, for herself. And it meant the room was busy all the time. She was loud and complaining. I couldn't tell if someone was behind the curtain or there was nobody there, and she was just complaining out loud all the time. In those 48 hours, I didn't know what was morning or night. Like, all the hours seemed the same with her.
Yeah.
She would be on the telephone talking to her daughter, who apparently was trying to leave a horrible, horrible man, and she would be yelling at her, and you'd hear these loud cuss battles between the two, and then slamming the phone down and then crying. But this isn't even the worst of it. The worst of it was that in order to sleep, she had probably what would be likened to like a sleep apnea CPAP machine. Yeah. So she had some assistance going on, and it created the most incredible fart sounds when she was trying to breathe through this. And I have recordings of it somewhere, I think, hopefully still. I voice memoed because I thought nobody would believe me. I thought nobody would possibly... I could not describe well enough how fart soundy all these sounds were coming out from this other side of this curtain. And I was getting no sleep whatsoever. So, anyhow, so I thought I was either being pranked or something, or I had done some horrible karma thing to deserve this. It was becoming the worst 48 hours. And the only way I escaped that with my sanity was, for some reason, I pulled out the headphones and I put in this album, The War on Drugs, Lost in the Dream, and I would listen to it on repeat for the whole 48 hours. For some reason, I wouldn't listen to their old records. I wouldn't listen to any other record.
Just that one.
That one. And I was fascinated. I never do this, but that record literally saved my life through those moments. And I got so lost in it. It was incredible. I mean, I love all their albums, and start to finish, this one, though, feels impeccable in the sense that I think a lot of it is still 10 years later what people would introduce the band to others with, like songs off this record, right? Before that, they felt to me like a jam band because of his guitar playing, and it was filled with all these rich textures, but all of that took a front seat to like the vocals or the melody or the story. Yeah. So it felt more jam band. And then this album is when that sort of turned the corner, it felt like, for them.
Yeah.
So I absolutely loved that part of it. Obviously, he had these incredible guitar solos that were incredibly signature for Adam Granacciel. But the songs felt really fully realized. And just maybe because it was like that emergence for them, when you're discovering somebody at the time that they're emerging into what they're really going to become, I think that's when you hear people tell the stories of a song or an album that become the thing that stick with them the rest of their life, right? And I think so often that gets associated with classic rock or the songs of when we were really young, and then you see people and they're like, they listened to AC/DC when they were 15, and now they listen to that's the best band for the rest of their life as far as they're concerned. But I think it has something to do with this synergy of emergence, where a point in your life that you're relating to it that way, and it's happening for the band in real time in their way too, with the music. I think that's what happened to me. But I just think it's interesting that like 10 years later, some of these songs are still timeless. So, and it has some of the greatest songs. Like there's a song on it called Burning and Red Eyes, which still get played a lot. I think Burning is a song that a lot of people still introduce the band with. They have kind of a similar feel. They have these little signature hook solos, and my favorite when he does like a little woo or a woohoo of some sort, like as if it's live, but
Yeah.
it's from the studio. But there's a song on it called the opening track called Under the Pressure, which
Yeah.
to me is still as, if not the most important track that maybe they've ever recorded. And I'll qualify it this way. So actually, I'm going to read a little bit what I wrote so I get it right. But it's the opening song, and it has this YouTube live performance at Lowlands Festival in 2018. I'm going to include the links in our show notes and everything so people can go right to it, because this might be the most viewed YouTube video of theirs, and it became an absolute signature. To one commenter on it said it might be the greatest version of any song. So it was interesting, completely due to capturing this like mesmerizing breakdown and this ecstatic, beautiful, crazy eyes, expressive drummer. And he stands up to even, it's like stand up to make it count. So this moment in this breakdown and in this fill of the drummer is so incredible. And I just saw them with the guys back in October in Vancouver, 2024. Yeah. And this song and that moment of this extended breakdown, it's still the signature moment of their live show 10 years later. And it's captured most perfectly in this one live performance on YouTube from Lowlands Festival in 2018. It's this incredible outdoor-ish venue under this huge, it looks like a barn type of top. And yeah, we'll post the link to the video. The breakdown starts at 6 minutes 44 seconds. This is the important stuff to me about the album. But it's not even the album, it's the video. But the breakdown starts at 6:44. His incredible face, and it's like literally the cover of the YouTube clips everywhere, is at 9:08. So already, yes, that's a 2.5 minute breakdown happening in this song where they just take it right down. It's incredible. And Pure Ecstasy is at 9:17. And I still get chills. I went and looked it up yesterday. I got chills again when I watched it at 9:17 when the whole band comes back in from this thing, and it's all built around the drummer and his face and the whole thing. So all of that to say,
does that make it your favorite song?
Yeah,
on the album.
On the album, hands down. Yeah, hands
Love
down.
It. Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, I've for the most part in my life completely forgotten about Fartmouth, but I haven't forgotten like a single beat about that song. So the best takeaway is that not only did that album save me through that incredible time, but now it's like literally woven into the fabric of who I am, and the Broken Leg and Fartmouth are mostly forgotten in my daily life. So yeah, so that's the album I would always want to share with somebody, and always love telling the story about why it's so important to me. Yeah.
A classic.
It's a classic now. It's my classic rock, dad rock, all of that.
Dad rock?
Yeah, dad rock.
So says you could put that on a t-shirt.
I think a lot of people have. I thought about putting, we were going to make when we, okay, well, when.
Oh, yeah, you were going to.
Remember when the guys went in October? So there were 5 of us and meeting a guy there. So there were 6 of us in total. Made the pilgrimage to Vancouver for, it was the National and the War on Drugs, which is essentially like the 2 tablets of the Ten Commandments, sacred to me. Those 2 together. And we were thinking of making shirts, something along the lines of like this Sad Dads or this Sad Bastard Club, or some version of Sad Dads, which has been kind of tagged to the National. But I think 2 of the guys aren't dads, I think. And then we were like, one of them being Rob Angus from the band that we put with my buddy.
He could pretend.
My bandmate brother. I'm like, I didn't know if I wanted to make him wear a Sad Dad shirt. But it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, so that's my album. That's your single.
Gorgeous. Okay, well, I'm glad yours was a little bit predictable to me, because mine is going to be a lot predictable to you. So
next episode when we flip and you do album.
Yeah. So the fact that I gatekept from you and you're gonna gatekeep from me, and that there's some predictability, I think we're on the same page.
We're already in a groove. That's pretty fantastic.
Love it.
Okay, so thank you for prepping and
Yeah.
sharing. We are going to make sure that, again, just to remind anybody listening, links to things that we post will be in our show notes to this, which are available wherever you're getting and downloading, listening to your podcast, or it'll be on our website, almostfamousenough.com. And what was the other thing I was going to say about that? Oh, the Spotify playlist. We will add songs to our
We will add.
Spotify playlist, and the links for that are also in the same place we put all the other links. So hopefully you'll be able to find it. And
Yes.
looking forward to episode 2 already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
See you.
Bye-bye.